guys, Dora here, and today I'm doing the Harry Potter spell book tag. I was tagged by Becca over at Becca and the Books. I'll leave all her information down in the description box below, as well as the information of the creator of this tag. I absolutely adore and love Harry Potter. I consider myself a Slytherclaw. I'll leave the video where I'm sorted into my Hogwarts house up there for you guys to check out. It says I'm a Slytherin, but the first time I took it a few years back when you could be very interactive into Pottermore, I was a Ravenclaw, so I'm both Ravenclaw and Slytherin. I feel like you can't be just one house. Everybody has some attributes that goes along with other houses. So without further ado, let's just get started. Question number 1 is Expelliarmus. And for this one, I have to choose a childhood book that brings me good memories. And I chose The Magic Tree House by Marie Pope Osborne. I started reading these books when I was in 1st grade. What the series is about is 2 kids find a tree house, and they soon realize that the tree house has magical powers. The magic tree house will spin as fast as it will, and it takes them back to a certain time in history. And from then on, they have so many adventures. I cannot remember what the last book of the Magic Treehouse series I read, but the only ones I remember are the first one, which is Dinosaurs in Time, I believe, or Days of the Dinosaurs, and when they go to Pompeii when the volcano is about to erupt. I don't know which one is that one. Could be the second one, I'm not sure. I haven't read the books in a long time, and I really feel like going back to my roots and reading the novels because they're so short, and I feel like it'll bring me nostalgia and it'll remind me of a time when I was young and innocent. Question number 2, Expelliarmus. A book that took me by surprise. And for this one, I chose The Bird and the Sword by Amy Harmon. When I heard the sample, I loved the narrator. Her voice was so calm and smooth and so kind of like sweet. So I decided to give it a go, and I was so surprised at how much I loved it, and it made the favorites list. It is full of action. It had twists and turns. It went in a direction that I was not expecting it to, and it has a lot of political intrigue. And it was a fantastic listen all around. The main character witnesses the king kill her mother for doing magic. And in this land, there are people who can use words as spells. Words carry a lot of power. Before her mother died, she told her daughter to stay silent, to not utter a word, and then she turned to her husband and said, "Protect our daughter. If something happens to her, you will die." Throughout this book, we follow the main character as how she grew without a mother and how she grew with her father protecting her in the fear of him losing his own life. Not actually protecting her because he loves her, but you could really tell that her father is very selfish in that manner, and he protected her just to protect himself. Number 3, let's see if I get this right. Prior Incantato. For this one is the last book you read. And the last book I read was The Last Time We Say Goodbye by Cynthia Hand. This book utterly destroyed me. It was like a full-on sob fest. What this book is about is our main character, Lexi. She is grieving the loss of her little brother who committed suicide. So throughout the book, we see how Lexi deals with this grief and how she deals with all that guilt pent up inside her because she feels that she broke a promise. And one of the things she has to deal with as well is that she never got to say goodbye to her brother. I connected with Lexi in such an emotional level. Usually when I connect to a character is by personality traits, but never in my time reading have I connected to a character emotionally, and it really took me by surprise, and that's why I was full on tears. Number 4, Alohomora, a book that introduced you to a genre that you hadn't considered before. And for this one, I chose The Princess Saves Herself in This One by Amanda Lovelace. This book is a collection of poetry, and it deals with abuse, sexual assault, and as we get further into the book, the poetry turns into self-love and not caring what other people say. And I feel like Amanda executed that poetry so well, and that led me to read Milk and Honey and then Whiskey, Words, and a Shovel. Never in my life have I ever considered reading poetry before. I would always just read YA, but after reading that book, that poetry book, my eyes opened up, and I'm like, I want more poetry like this. Number 5, Ridiculous. Did I say that right? I feel like I said dick in the middle there. And for this one, I went with Full Metal Alchemist by, oh my gosh, I'm going to butcher this name, but I'm going to try. Hiramu Arakawa. I'm so sorry if I butchered it. This is actually a manga. We follow two teenagers who try to revive their mother with alchemy, which is completely forbidden. The rule of alchemy is that if you want something, you have to give something in return. So this book is really funny because Eric, he is the older brother. He loses an arm and a leg during the transmutation, which is what it's called when they do alchemy. And his young brother loses his entire body. So what Eric did is he connected his young brother's soul to a metal armor. Wherever they go, they think that his younger brother in the metal armor is the Full Metal Alchemist, and he gets so pissed off all the time when they do that, and he also gets really pissed off when people make fun of him because of his height. And also watch the show. It's an amazing and funny show. Number 6, Sonoras. A book you think everyone should read. And I went with Salt to the Seas by TurtleSympathy. This is a book I read every single year. I read it twice the year it came out. During World War II, this ship was attacked and it sunk, killing more than 9,000 people. More people than the Titanic, actually. So we never heard about this ship going down, and only a few people knew about it. And so in this book, we follow 4 characters. Reading this book really opened my eyes to what was going on in Russia with Stalin, because I've only ever heard about Germany and Hitler, and if you look in the history books, we only get like a few paragraphs here and there of what was going on in Russia with Stalin. Number 7, Obliviate. A book or spoiler that you would like to forget having read. And for this one, I'm gonna go with Suzanne Collins' Mockingjay, the 3rd and final book in the Hunger Games series. Oh, where do I start with this? I had just finished Catching Fire when I posted online. I can't remember whether it was Tumblr or if it was Facebook, but either way, I posted. I was like, OMG, Catching Fire has me like, and then I put an emoji with the aw, because that's like my favorite emoji. And someone commented, not as bad as Mockingjay, Prim and Finnick die. And I was like, you I hate you. I hate you so much. Number 8, Imperio. A book you had to read for school. Since I've already said that I disliked The Great Gatsby and I don't want to talk about it anymore, I'm going to choose To Kill a Mockingbird. I remember reading this book in school and not really appreciating it for all it's worth. I was a little loser back then. I was like, man, why are they making me read classics? Like, I don't want to read this book. I don't want to read. I feel if I were to pick it up now on my own accord, I would actually enjoy it a little bit. And it is a book I actually do want to read. Now that I'm older, I feel like I will get more out of it. So hopefully in the near future I get to read it. Number 9, Crucio. A book that was painful to read. Now, I don't know if this means painful as in crying your eyeballs out, or painful as in, oh my gosh, I can't get through this book, I need to put it down, I'm going to DNF it. So I'm gonna choose the latter and go with that, because I do have a book that was very painful to read, and that was Red Rose Rebellion by someone. I'll have the author up here. I DNF'd that book at 58%. And originally I had planned to DNF the book at 15%, but somehow in my mind I wanted to torture myself and actually read more of it. I said it in my Goodreads review, it feels like the author put everything that was popular in YA into a blender and just went to town with it. And instead of trying to actually get something smooth and well constructed, it came out to be something like gross and gloppy, and it was disgusting. So that definitely has the number 1 spot for worst book I read in 2018. Number 10, Avada Kedavra. A book that could kill, interpret as you will. And for this one, I'm going to choose a book that could kill you from the emotional roller coaster ride that it takes you on, and that is Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Sapia. I read this during Sabathon, and I was so surprised that it actually made me cry. It was such a meaningful read, and it really does take you on a roller coaster ride, because just when you're starting to feel happy, the story goes in a direction where the characters are now in a situation where they don't know what to do, and I just connected with the main character because some things that she went through, I went through as well. Everything that she did, the way she would describe situations or conversations she had with her parents, I've had those same conversations with my parents, and I've also been in those type of situations. So that is the Harry Potter spells book tag. Let me know down in the comments below, have you done this tag? Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see more of my face, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!